When you're staring at a laptop that promises an AI-powered experience, a 17-inch 4K display, and a graphics card that sounds like it belongs in a desktop, it's easy to feel a little paralyzed. The HP OmniBook 7 lands right in the middle of that tension. It's marketed as a portable gaming-ready workstation, yet it also carries the weight of a productivity-focused AI Copilot. My goal here is to walk you through the moments where that promise either lands or slips, so you can decide whether the price tag truly matches the day-to-day reality. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the kind of environment where you'd actually pull this machine out of your bag. I've seen a lot of people treat a 17.3-inch laptop as a travel-only device, but the OmniBook's footprint and weight make it feel more like a desktop replacement you're willing to move between a home office, a coffee shop, and a small space dorm. The 17-inch IPS touchscreen is bright enough to see outdoors on a sunny bench, which is a genuine advantage if you spend any time coding or sketching on the go. The touch layer, however, is not something you'll be tapping into for gaming. It's more useful for creative apps or quick note-taking during meetings. One of the headline claims is that the built-in NPU, Neural Processing Unit, handles AI tasks at 47 TOPS. In practice, that translates into a smoother experience with Windows 11 Copilot plus features like real-time language translation and on-the-fly image enhancement. I ran a few everyday scenarios, drafting a multi-language email with Copilot's suggestions, and running a quick batch of AI-upscaled photos. The latency was barely noticeable, which is impressive for a laptop of this size. If you regularly use AI-assisted tools for design, writing, or data analysis, that hardware-level support can shave a few seconds off each workflow, something that adds up over a week. Now for the part most gamers care about, the RTX 4050. It's a mid-range mobile GPU, and on paper it promises decent 1080p performance. I tested it with 3 titles that sit at different ends of the spectrum: a fast-paced shooter that leans heavily on frame rate, an open-world RPG with heavy textures, and a strategy game that's more sepia-bound. In the shooter, the OmniBook held 60 frames per second at medium settings, but it struggled to stay above 45 frames per second once I pushed the graphics to high. The RPG capped around 50 frames per second at high-medium, which is acceptable if you're okay with occasional dips, but you won't be getting the ultra-smooth experience you might expect from a gaming label. The strategy title, by contrast, ran flawlessly at max settings because it doesn't tax the GPU as much. The takeaway? This laptop is fine for casual or play-no-pay-later sessions, but if you're chasing competitive esports performance, you'll feel the limits. Memory and storage are where the OmniBook starts to feel generous. The 32 GB of DDR5 RAM means you can keep dozens of tabs, large Photoshop files, and a few virtual machines open without watching the system swap. Pair that with a 1 TB SSD, and you've got a lot of breathing room for games, media libraries, and large project files. The SSD is fast enough that game load times sit comfortably under a minute, and the Windows 11 boot is practically instantaneous. That said, the SSD is soldered to the board, so you can't upgrade it later, a point that matters if you anticipate needing more than a terabyte down the line. Battery life is often the Achilles heel of a 17-inch laptop, and the OmniBook is no exception. With the screen at full brightness and the RTX 4050 active, I saw roughly 3.5 hours of mixed usage gaming for an hour, then switching to office apps. If you unplug for a full workday, you'll likely need to keep the charger handy. The good news is that when you switch to the AI Copilot tasks or just browsing, you can stretch that to 6 hours, which is respectable for a machine of this size but still far from the all-day claim that some marketing materials suggest. Let's talk about the keyboard. The backlit layout includes a numeric keypad, which is a pleasant surprise for anyone who dabbles in spreadsheets or quick calculations. The key travel is firm enough to feel satisfying, yet not so deep that it becomes tiring on long typing sessions. The presence of a numeric keypad on a laptop this size is rare, and it adds genuine productivity value without sacrificing the sleek look. Where the OmniBook shows its hidden trade-offs is in thermals. The chassis is slim, which helps with portability, but during extended gaming sessions the fans spin up aggressively, and the bottom of the laptop gets warm enough that you'll want a cooling pad if you're sitting on your lap. The noise level rises to a noticeable hum, which can be distracting if you're recording voiceovers or trying to focus in a quiet environment. For most office work, the fan stays relatively quiet, but it's something to keep in mind if you plan on long gaming marathons. Who should buy this? If you're a creator who